this next speaker is coming up to share her own story from her own angle, and we are also excited to have her here. Linda Temeno Vincent.
I'm a storyteller, and I'm definitely going to be doing stories this evening so that I can pass my point across. So quickly, I want us to, I like people to be interactive. Just 2 seconds. I just need you to move around the room real quick. Choose someone, tell the person where you want to be this time next year. Quickly, 2 seconds. No, I don't want it between friends. I don't want it between friends. Please move around. Auntie, move around. Move. Don't worry. Talk to that guy. Talk to him. I'm going to ask. Okay, time up. Nobody, oh. Okay. Okay, so I guess a few people were able to do this exercise. Some people are still talking, I can see. I'll just wait for them to finish. Our moderator. Okay, so I'm going to ask, who did you speak to?
Agnes.
Okay, and what did you tell her?
Should I say what she did? Okay, what did I tell her?
Yes, what did you tell her?
1 year from now, I want to be working someplace in what I'm studying, and I want to have registered my business in the UK and be making, I even told her the amount of money I want to be making from where I'm working, and then I decided.
Thank you very much. Agnes, what did you tell her? Climate change. You would like to work in a place,
In my field.
your field, climate change, by this time next year, right?
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abby, what did you say?
Taking my manager's job.
Great. Who did you talk to? Joel? Okay, fantastic. Kehinde, who did you speak to?
Oh, sorry. I spoke with Oge.
What did you tell her?
I told her that I want my company to have earned over 100K in income by next year.
Okay. So what did you tell her?
I told her I want to work in my field by this time next year.
What field is that?
Environment, sustainable environment.
Okay, very good. Guys, let me ask one person. So who did you speak to?
Hold on.
Okay.
I spoke to him, and I told him I would like to be in America by this time next year.
Doing what?
To do PhD program in public policy and public management.
Good.
Yeah.
What did you tell him?
He said same thing, but, getting my own business, but not in the UK.
Where?
In the US.
In the US?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, everyone. I will tell you why we did that exercise now, but just, okay, what did you say? What did you say?
Me?
Mm-hmm. I thought she wanted to. No, what did you tell her?
Okay, I told her I want to own a brand, and I
What
want
brand?
to show that I have
Brand
a
in what?
event brand, management,
good.
event management. Then I want to show that O2 Arena.
Okay, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Next year.
Okay, good. So what did you tell him?
Actually, I didn't tell him anything because he had a lot to say and we didn't have time. So that was what happened. Yeah, honestly, I didn't say nothing.
Fine. That's good, but we get the point. Yeah. Okay. So, today we're supposed to be talking about leveraging opportunities. And there are 2 things I just want to say. Before you talk about leveraging opportunities, there are 2 things, 2 very important things that you need to know. One is vision. Why are you here? The other is self-awareness. sometimes you talk to people and they'll be like, what's self-awareness? What are you talking about? You understand? And I'm going to use myself as an example now so that you understand what self-awareness is. I come from a family of 5, a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, myself. I'm the firstborn. Now, my dad is, he's a factual man. He likes facts. He talks little, you know. He's very observant. My mom is quite dramatic. You know, she's the type that watches AIT News, Arise Television, and then when they're having hot debates, all those hot topics, she's shouting, what do you mean? Look at his tie. That's why he's choking. You know, all those kind of things, you know. If you're not aligning with her point, you know, she's cursing, whatever, you know, and all that. Now, I'm aware of my parents and how they are. They are kind, they love God, they are attentive to us, they preach unity and all that, and we do practice it. And I am a product of those 2 people. Now, my education, my experience, my exposure may have taught me to either moderate those behaviors in me, those characteristic behavior in me, or unlearn some things, relearn some things. So in unlearning those things, I'm also growing, I'm changing, I'm realizing who I am. That's self-awareness. And then occasionally I have time to reflect on some things. I may have been bad at something yesterday. Today I decide, you know what, I don't want to be bad at that thing anymore. I want to improve. What are the steps I need to take? All that is self-awareness. Now, if you want to leverage opportunities here in the UK, those 2 things are very important. Vision, which was why I asked you, where do you want to be next year, this time? Because if you have a vision, mind you, you may fall short of it. Mind you, you may not achieve it. Mind you, you may achieve it. Mind you, you may overachieve it. Mind you, you may be deviated completely from that vision. But the point is you have a vision. And if you have a vision, you have something to measure yourself by and know whether you're making progress or not. Now, I don't know, but I'm surprised that in all your, this is where I want to be next year, nobody talked about health. Nobody talked about being alive. Because those 2 things are very important. When you are thinking about your vision and your plan and everything, please remember those 2 things, health and life. Because without those 2, technically you're wasting your time. Do you understand? We'll all be here next year in Jesus' name. Health and life, those 2 things are very, very important. So when you're doing all your hustling and all your running around, please keep that at the back of your mind, because I'm sure you've heard stories of people that were doing shifts back to back and they dropped dead. Do you understand? If there's one thing I know about myself, I have learned the skill of saying no. Me first, after God, obviously. Me first. Any other person can chill and relax. As in, I am here. I can actually stay in my house and be hungry because I want to say no to something that doesn't go well with my body or doesn't go well with my mental health. Do you understand? So that is another skill you need to learn. Now, to my real story, I need 4 people to just volunteer, just come out real quick. I don't want to have to say you. Just 4 people, real quick. 4 people. Thank you. 1 more person. Yes, let's keep it balanced. No, one guy is okay. Thank you. Mr. Brown Jacket. You're very active. So.
Yes, I'm coming.
Oh my God. Okay, so just stay here. So I want to use them to tell a real quick story, and this is so that you come to terms with reality. So I'm a creative writer, by the way. I studied creative writing in the UK, in UEA here, and I graduated in 2022, okay? And I'm making progress in my writing. So this is writer 1, writer 2, 3, 4. All studied creative writing, okay? Now, while they were studying creative writing, writer 1 was feeling very top of the range, very intelligent. So he started entering for competitions, which is the way to go if you're trying to get published in this country. So he started entering for competitions, and he was smashing it. So before he graduated from UEA, obviously, by the time he was graduating from UEA, he had already won Best Creative Writing Student here. And then, not long afterwards, he got a deal with a publishing house to publish his first book. That is the dream of life. That's my dream right now. So that is the dream of life. He got his first book to be published. So he signed a publishing deal. You know, publishing is on the way. His book will be released, let me just say, maybe next year, January. Now, this is writer number 2, same class. She's not as hot as he is. She's slow, she takes her time, but at the end of the day, she's doing good work, okay? And now she graduates. She's tried competitions, she's not working, it's not happening, she's not being longlisted, she's not being shortlisted, you understand? And then at the end of the day, she has to go and hustle care work because that's her reality. Do you understand? But on the side, she's still doing her writing. And then along the path, she self-reflects and realizes that maybe she's not getting things right. So she registers with what? A writing mentorship class. She registers with an editing class to develop her skill further. And then in 5 years' time, now projecting. Meanwhile, in that 5 years' time, writer 1 has published 2 books. He's all around the country. He's on BBC 2, BBC that, you know, doing his interviews, going seminars, you know, technically shining, the dream of every writer. And then 5 years still, she's still struggling. She's still doing health workers. She's still all that. And then, boom, by the 6th year, her first book is published. By the next year, she wins the biggest prize for a writer, the Booker Prize. That's writer 2, okay? Now, writer 3 has a similar story with her. Tried and tried, not doing so well in writing, hustling one job at the side, an assistant somewhere, you know, bias, racism, she's going through everything, boyfriend left her, so many things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. So boyfriend left her, do you understand? Boyfriend left her. Story. Yeah, frustration, do you understand? But in all, she's still focused on her writing. She's still doing what she needs to do. You know, she does the editing classes, she does everything she needs to do on the extra. She keeps being rejected. Manuscript is rejected day in, day out, day in, day out. Meanwhile, our darling here is now on CNN taking, you know, the interviews because Booker Prize is a big deal, you know, and everything. So she's very busy. Now schools are willing to put her book on their curriculum so that students can study. You know, that's a big deal. Now, 6th year, this writer is still struggling. And then all of a sudden, she decides, you know what? To hell with traditional publishing. I'm going ebook publishing. That's self-publishing. And then she publishes her book. And then, like a dream of the night, she says she sells 7 million copies. She sells 7 million copies. We're talking about year 8 now. She sells 7 million copies, and she has her own company now, you know. Her 5th book, she's written many novels now because of that. Because now she's not going through traditional publishing that frustrates you, takes 4 years to publish one book. She's published several copies, and 2 of her books are being turned into a movie. That's a big deal. 4th writer. 4th writer, he's done all what 3 of them have done. This is now year 8. He says he takes his time, he reflects. He says, you know what? 8 years down the drain, not really down the drain, but you know how it feels like. And he says, you know what? Maybe this thing is not for me. And then he says, but I still enjoy writing. So what does he do? He looks at other aspects of writing, and then suddenly he finds out that he's interested in video game writing, AI, you know, that kind of thing. And then he takes a course for 1 year. And he does that, okay? And eventually, a company hires him. The people that do all this, what do you call that, PlayStation and all that, they hire him. So 2 years down the line, he's so good. Remember, all his experience is not a waste. He becomes really good. Before you know what's happening, he's climbing. In another 3 years, he's director of stories and ideation. In another year, he has shares in the company. Before we know what we're talking about, year 10, he's on Forbes lists. Thank you. You can go back to your seats. So, do you get the point of the story I just told now? Everybody's path is different. Everybody's path. So don't look at your colleague and say, he got a job. God, why are you like this? What did I do to you? No, that's the wrong approach. Do you understand? In everything, be grateful, be thankful, you understand? And then reflect. That's why I talked about self-awareness. Reflect. Because if you know who you are, if you understand your growth, and you understand how you're growing and how things are changing, because you're going to change. Worse off, you're in a new environment. It's not Nigeria. You don't have control over many things. So you have to be self-aware. You have to understand that you are changing. Here, I came here, and I discovered a lot of things about myself. You have to realize that you're changing, and you have to adjust accordingly. And mind you, it is good that you have a vision, but also know that your vision will change from time to time. It may either grow in phases, or it might just change totally, but not exactly, not so different from what you originally envisioned for yourself. So that is why I used that illustration, to explain. So don't look at someone else and say, oh, this person's journey, what is going on? It's my village people. I'm sorry, no, it's not your village people. You need to self-reflect. You need to re-strategize. And Joel has already talked a lot about community, information, all that is good. But self-awareness is also very important. And self-awareness means that know when you should be involved in community, know when you should separate. Because separation is very good. I am struggling. I don't want to have to share this, but I won 3 writing competitions last year. Those 3 writing competitions was a function of separation. I didn't have time to be gyrating and clubbing. I've gone clubbing with Kende once. You understand? And I fell down. But I'm not even joking, it's true. We're dancing. What were we dancing? What was that thing? Salsa. I've never danced it in my life. I'm not dancing with white guy that is lenge. And me, I have weight and body. As I just did like this, the guy he was not strong. So I found myself on the floor. Unfortunately, and they recorded it. So check my Instagram, you'll find it there. So my point is, you've got to know when it's time for community. You've got to know when it's time for separation. And like movies, like every movie, you are so Joel is looking at her watch now. So like every movie, I'm sure we've all watched movies here. We know that every movie has a main character, a protagonist, a main character. Kende is a script writer, so she knows what I'm talking about. Now, usually, if you're writing a movie script or if you're watching a movie, there are 3 questions. It is, what does the main character want in a movie or in a script that you're writing? What does the main character want? And then the second is, what happens if they don't get it? Okay? And then the third is, why are they doing it now? Why do they want it now? All that question is for you to answer. You are the main character in your life, no one else. So all the bass-bows, all the challenges, because we know that when we watch action movies, you know that the main character, there's always one hindrance, one obstruction, one person shooting, and all that. All that will happen, I promise you. It's not a curse, it's the truth. All that is going to happen here. Joel and AB and all Kende and all the people that are looking successful, if you ask them if they've cried, they have. Plenty tears. Plenty tears, I'm telling you. They have cried. But the point is, at the end of the day, you have to brave up and say, do you know what? These are challenges I will surpass, I will overcome, and at the end of the day, I will still meet with my vision. Okay? So like I said you will experience racism, bias, loneliness, depression, frustration, tiredness, confusion. All these things are going to happen. But at the end of the day, your foundation is going to matter. Me, God is my source. And the people that I'm hanging out with, God is their source because I know them. Keke, AB, Joel, they are not pagans. God is our source. So some people come here and forget God. But if you make that mistake, you will pay the price. I'm not even cursing you. I'm telling you the truth. Recently, I shared my testimony with Kende. I mean, my journey is funny. I'm going to tell two quick stories so that you understand how God works. Now, when I was a student as a creative writer, first of all, I came on a scholarship. The scholarship story is the testimony. Oh God, let me just leave that one because it's too long. But when I was a creative writing student, now I came. Obviously, I was shocked, culture shock. Care work, some people were complaining, when you go, it will look as if trailer jammed you and everything. I'm like, God, no way. I have a friend from day one, I liked her. She just said, Linda, I can't do care work, never. And she found other options. But me, I was like, what will I do? So next thing, somebody said, oh, check, Joel had talked about it, careers, UEA careers. So I went to their website, I saw a job. They were looking for an intern for an event. Unfortunately for me, it was Lee Child. If you're not in creative, you may not know who Lee Child is, but he's one of the biggest writers in the UK, as in, I'm not joking. So UEA was going to have a symposium, and an in-person conversation. And they were looking for an event coordinator. So I looked at it. I put my CV, I ran my CV through the CV, whatever. It turned out red. This is not Nigeria. This is not how we write CV here. So I did, and then eventually my CV was green. So first point of correction, please unlearn and relearn. So my CV became green. After that, I applied for the job. In all this time, I was doing Shiloh. God of Shiloh, God of Shiloh, So after Shiloh, I had booked my flight to go back to Nigeria because I was missing my husband and I wanted to see him. Then I also wanted to renew my passport. I hadn't acclimatized yet to understand that I can go to London. I was just not ready for that journey. So anyway, maybe I think it was a day to the day I was flying. I just got an email from UEA, whatever, saying that I've been shortlisted for the job. I was so happy. But the email was so long, so I read it. I said, for ordinary internship, they asked us to do practical, and then we're going to come and do interview. Hey, I said, okay, because they were going to pay £12 per hour. So shortlisted means they are shortlisted about maybe 6 to 10 people or something like that. So when I looked, I saw the dates. The dates that they were saying they were going to interview, I was going to be in the sky. So I now responded and said, and please, excuse me, I'm going to be traveling on this day. Can you move my interview? Do you understand? And everything. The person that responded to the email was so harsh. I said, no, we're not moving anything. Everybody's going to be interviewed on that day. If you're not available, just, So I now responded. I said, okay, thank you. You see, my husband is more important to me. So I said, thank you. And then I sent the email. I only said thank you. I didn't say my husband is more important to. I just said thank you. And then I sent the email. So I was just there thinking, I said, Father, it is well, oh. Next thing, maybe 30 minutes later, I just got an email and they said, okay, we've reconsidered. Why don't you send in your practical and then we'll move your interview to the Monday. That Monday I will be landing. Do you understand? So I said, okay, no problem. But they put the time, maybe I think the time was maybe 11 or something. And it was those days where I was broke. So I was going to be flying that airline that, they will stop many hours. Then, So I said, okay, So I want to talk about the importance of people that you leave behind in Nigeria. Don't ever make the mistake and say, oh, I'm now in a foreign country to hell with you guys. It will shock you. You will always need people. This practical side is graphic design. I don't know it. So what I did, but I'm a creative person. So what I did was I thought about the concept and I quickly wrote a script. I called my husband, called graphic, those call up and down. I put my husband in charge so that he would be following up while I was in the sky. Then wherever I land, when I connect with Wi-Fi, I will check what they have done and send. I will correct. I'm telling you all that I did. Correct. The plane is calling, oh, yeah, I'm running. Do this, too. No. Put this one there. And then jump on the plane. Okay? And then I land in Nigeria. And then I'm telling my husband, oh, yeah, interview. So he was asking me a question. He was prepping me. Okay, so answer like this, answer. And when I got home, showered, sat in front of praying that NEPA You know, NEPA will not show me shege. We have gen, but you know how those things can be. You start shouting for security guard to on gen, and the white people wondering what's going on. So it happened during my interview, so my scholarship interview. So I know what I'm saying. I packed everything, computer. It is that day that my generator decided not to work. I told them that, please, I'm on my way. I'm on the road. When I get there, I will call. It was horrible, but that aside. Anyway, so I sat down in front of the computer. Clearly, I was stressed because I was tired. It was a long journey. And then next thing I saw 2 professors, and then the person I was going to be reporting to. Oh boy, I was shocked though, because I didn't know that that's how it was going to be. Me, that I cannot speak English to save my life. So they started asking, they asked questions. God helps me, a lot of wisdom was used, and then interview finished. As I was just standing, remember I was the last person to be interviewed. As I was just standing up, the email came in, congratulations. Hey. As in, so that story I told you because that's God. That's favor. Remember, I was the most dramatic candidate, but at the end of the day, the job was mine. Now, the second story I'm going to share with you real quick so that, so that it will end is, I recently got a job as a facilities manager. Okay? Yes. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because don't look down on anything that you're doing. Every work you do, please do it with respect. No boundaries. Be respectful to people. Don't take people's dignity away from them. And when you are doing a job, do it like it is your own. Because this job I got, that's what helped me a lot. It is people that guided me. She talked about people. It is people that guided me. But those people, it was a function of the kind of relationship I had with them and how I had presented and carried myself. She said something, don't try to pull people down, it won't help you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So anything that you find yourself doing, do it well, do it with all of your heart, do it like you are doing it unto God. And I assure you, the reward will come. Thank you. Any question?